Hi, welcome. My name is Lisa, and I am super excited that you're joining me today because we're going to be making these juicy, delicious looking door signs that have some sparkle to them. So get your materials ready, and I will see you in a moment.
Hi everyone, welcome. We are going to be doing this adorable door sign. This is a tutorial, step by step, real time in how to put this together, paint it, put it together, and make this beautiful blingy bow. Um, First things first, let's just talk about what it looks like. So it's a strawberry. It has a very familiar shape, but it's a strawberry. Has a little banner that we're going to celebrate. Strawberries are very summertime. Um, they're seasonal fruit for summertime. There's always strawberry festivals and other fun things, and strawberries are just adorable on everything as far as like home furnishings, your clothes. Everyone loves strawberries. And then we're going to paint some yellow contrasting seeds with a little bit of depth to them. And then we're going to be adding, I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous bow, and it really is beautiful. I'm looking at it on the camera, and it's just gorgeous. I'm going to put this aside. I don't know if I said this, but welcome. I'm very happy you're here. I'm very happy that you're joining me. I love doing this. In your kits, you should have the banner. It's in two pieces, white with the words, and then a solid green. I'm going to put that aside for later. A twine, because it kind of goes with that farmhouse summery feeling. We have two ribbons. This is wired ribbon, and it's glittery. One is longer, and one piece is shorter. That's for later also. A small piece of wire. This is going to go with our ribbon, so we're going to put that aside too. You have some paint. These are the shades of paint that you have, and a little tub of red, which I just used, I'm going to be using. Um, all right, three brushes, right? The right tool for the right job. We have a skinny brush, a wider brush, flat head brush, and then we have this foam brush, 1-inch foam brush. What you need to bring to this craft is, of course, a clean work surface, uncluttered, so that you can work nicely. A cup with water in it so we can rinse our brushes. Some white glue, any kind. You could use any kind of glue, it doesn't have to be white. And some paper towels for our brushes, a pair of scissors for later. I'll put that aside, and let's begin. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this. This is obviously a heart shape. It's a heart. Strawberries, in a very idealized way, do have a little bit of a heart shape, right? So where the stem and the leaves are is kind of an indented part, and then the strawberry just grows out of it, nice and juicy, and it comes to a bottom that's like a rounded point. Ours is an exaggerated point, but this is also not a real strawberry. The first thing we're going to do is, with our 1-inch foam brush, we're going to paint an area here, like a half round area right here in green. And this is going to represent the bed where the strawberry leaves are going to sprout from. So right off the bat, we're just going to go straight into, oh, actually, no, I didn't want to use this one. I'm going to wash that out. I'm so sorry. We're going to use this flathead brush. That's what we're going to use. And because we have a smaller area, we're going to make a round shape like this. Okay, and then we're just going to color it in. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's really mostly going to get covered with whatever you call it, with the ribbon. but we do want to have a base for the ribbon so it doesn't look like it's just sitting there. We wanted to make it look, the ribbon is going to represent the leaves, and we want it to look like it's going to represent the leaves. So we will put this bed here underneath so it looks like it's emanating from a specific spot. This is balsa wood, this shape, this wooden shape, and it's absorbent. So it does soak in the paint, but it dries beautifully. All right, so we don't really want like extra paint. We don't want a lot of like, pools of paint. And the reason is it just takes longer to dry and you don't really need it. Not necessary. Okay, so there you go. I'm gonna scoop off all that extra paint, put my brush into the cup, and voila, I have another foam brush, so I don't have to clean that one on the video. All right, so now we have our area for our green leaves, and now we're going to color in our strawberry, and strawberries are obviously very red, right? So now we're going to be using our 1-inch brush, and we are going to first outline where we put the green, right? That way we are careful with our edges. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can move your shape around if you need to. If you look closely, this foam brush, your foam brush, has a point that makes it easier for you to manipulate the brush, move the brush around. Hold the brush like you would hold a pencil. And then once this is done, this is really the hardest part because we're just kind of taking our time. We're not being too messy with this area because we kind of want that line to be on the crispy side, meaning very sharp lines. There you go. Take your time with it. We are not rushing at all. So there you go. That's the red, and I can see I have some white spots. I can go back, fill them in on my own later. White spots where the red is meeting the green, but you don't have to. There you go. Now we can paint the rest and not actually worry about it. The balsa wood is nice and absorbent, and this is acrylic paint, so it will give you a nice vivid color. And because we're using a wider brush, it's going to be quicker. If we were using a skinny brush to paint this whole strawberry, it would take way too long, and you guys would get very frustrated. So make sure you get all the spots. Sometimes when you go back and forth, it's lighter where you're moving the brush, so you can go back and fill in any light spots as you're going along. And also put a nice thin coat on. We want a nice thin coat so that it dries. We don't want to have a period of time between the drying of the background and when we start painting our seeds. So like I said before, summertime, especially I guess like June, but really all of the summer, in the old days, I'm not going to tell you my age, but in the old days, fruit would come out in season, and then you would really focus on that fruit for the season. Like, for example, in the winter, you would see the oranges. In the spring, you get like vegetables like asparagus, like special things for special times of the year, and they went into your meals and they went into your eating, and you kind of look forward to seasons. Strawberries, for example, for the warmer weather, for summertime. And now, because we are able to farm and grow and transport fruit and vegetables, produce, everything really, but in particular because we're doing strawberries, produce, we really don't have seasons to look forward to, like particular seasons. But we still associate strawberries with summertime, I think because of the vivid colors and, it's red and we have like patriotic red, white, and blue holidays and everyone uses strawberries for them. We bake cakes, we chill our strawberries, we put sugar on them and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so here is our strawberry. And it looks like a strawberry, right? It looks kind of like a crafty strawberry, but in order to make it more recognizable as a strawberry, we're going to be adding these seeds. Now these seeds are going to be yellow, gold, and a dot of white for a highlight and a little bit of black, and that black is going to create like a shadow and give you the feeling that the seeds are sticking out. Okay, a seed shape. Seed shape will look like this. Get a marker. It's going to be, oh my goodness, are you hearing that? I hope that's not driving anybody crazy. But this is our seed shape. Rounded on the bottom, pointy on the top, like a watermelon seed. Okay, now strawberry seeds are very, very tiny, and strawberries tend to have super tiny, lots and lots of these super tiny seeds, but we're not going to do that. We're going to have bigger seeds and we're going to have some random seeds and not a million seeds. So I would begin with our wide brush. So you have to rinse off your wide brush. All right, blot it on the paper towel. Make sure that you got all the green out from up here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a glob of yellow. This is what I mean by a glob. Like we're going to use our brush like a spoon, and we're going to make a seed shape. Here's our seed shape. It's going to go over the red. I understand your red is not completely dry probably, but we're just going to not rub it. We're just going to lightly paint this on. You see how we painted that on? We've just pretty much, I'm just globbing it on. It's very thick. The reason why it's very thick, see if I can lift this up to show you up close. The reason why it's thick is because if you put a thin coat of yellow on, the yellow is going to look a little translucent when it dries, and we want the yellow to really stand out. So there's another seed shape. See, so there's a thickness to the paint, a thick and thin, I guess, depending on how you apply. Also, we're going to just do this randomly. Okay. So there's another seed shape. Some can point sideways, some can point down. I'll fix this guy. So I'm going to make this one, here's some yellow. Try to get everything on the screen. And I'm going to make this guy point down. And I'm just really going to dab my point in because I want the paint to lay thickly. Also, just a note, not necessary. We do want to put seeds in this area where we're going to apply our banner, but maybe not too many, because we like the idea that the banner is in front and the seeds are peeking out right there. Okay, so I'm just going to keep adding. I'm doing a dabbing thing, and I'm going to do different directions for my point. And I'm also going to use my gold, which will eventually give us the impression that we have different types of seeds. So here we go. And you can determine how many seeds you want to use, but the number of seeds you want to use is the amount of work you're going to end up doing in the end, because each one gets its own detailing. So you see how I'm dabbing it? I'm not really painting it. All right, so there's my yellow. Very pretty. I'm going to rinse out again. just to have a fresh brush. It's not necessary because we're staying in the gold family. And I'm going into the gold now. This is like a mustard, not quite a golden, it's more of a dark French's. And I'm going to do other seeds with this darker yellow, just so we have a couple different shades of seeds. And I'm still doing that dabbing motion. Let me see, where am I missing a couple? I'm also pointing it in different directions. So here, dabbing the cup that's in the way, dabbing and point. And seeds are not perfect. Seeds are Mother Nature, so every seed is going to look different. And right now you can see that the colors don't look very different, but they will dry down differently and you'll get a little variation. Am I missing any spots? Oh, I'm going to leave this area for my banner, and I'll do another one right here. Dabbing. And we might have to go back and do a second coat on our seeds, but let's see how we do to start, and let it dry as we're going along. I wasn't counting, but I don't know, 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17, 18. So whatever you want to do. If you are making bigger seeds, you'll have less seeds. And if you have smaller seeds, you're going to have a lot of seeds. So this is 20. I've done 20. There you go. And already adorable. It's just adorable. And I'm going to put my brush in my glass, and I'm going to start with shading and highlights. If we look closely here, I think you can see in this area, we have just a little like scoop of black, like a little shade of black, a line, and then we have a dot, and that dot is the highlight. And the shading and the highlight is going to take away from this flatness of the yellow and give it a little pop of color, of course, but also give it a little dimension so it looks like it's standing out. Oh, here's one I forgot, but that's okay. You notice things after the fact, right? You always notice things later. All right. And even though our yellow is wet, we could still do this. We're going to now take our skinny brushes, okay? We're going to start with the black, just a tiny bit. It's hard to see, but just a tiny bit of black on the edge. If the light source is coming from this direction, then we're going to get a shadow on this side. So we're only going to put the black on one side of our seeds, and you could choose right or left. I'm going to do left, and the way we're going to do it, I'll start here so you could see, is we're going to make like a little C, like a C shape. And we're going to do that on every seed. Just a little C. And it's going to look like it's vibrant and it's standing out, but it will dry down. And even though your yellows are wet, it's okay. Let me lift it up so maybe you could see it better. You see, my yellows are wet, right? And my black is shading. So I'm going to do this one right here. Just a C shape on the left side. Okay? And that gives the feeling of a shadow. So if it's pointing down, it's still going to have the shadow on the left. If it gets mixed up with the yellow and it doesn't show up, you have to go and re-up on your black. Just a tiny bit. You can see already it's kind of making a difference, right? There you go. So pretty. I'm excited about the summer. There you go. Last one. I think I got them all. There's our shadows on our seeds. I'm going to rinse my brush. Rinse it again. I'm going to dab it in the paper towel. And now I'm going to add my highlight. The white and the skinny brush. That's going to be our highlight. Again, you're going to just get like a scoop of white, and we are just going to leave a pool of white on each seed. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to get a scoop of white, we're going to fill up our brush, and then we're going to make a dot right on the seed, and that's leaving a thickness of paint, but that's okay because that's what we want. We want that white to show up. We're not using our brush to make a brush stroke. We're not using it to lay down anything. We're not pressing down. We're not doing anything like that. We're just leaving a dot on the left side right next to our black line. And you might have to go back a lot and get a whole bunch of paint just to make sure that you're getting that really thick dot for the highlight. We're not rubbing. We're just doing a touch, like we're touching the brush to that area right next to the black lines. Okay, everything is wet, so don't worry. It will dry. Just watch where you're putting your hands. There you go. So that's it. That's all our highlights. And now you could see our yellow has a little bit of dimension, right? Our yellow is now shaded and highlighted. It's very wet, so it's kind of shiny on the camera. But when it dries down, I'm going to put it into my brush into my water now. When it dries down, it will be flat like this, okay? And that's what it's going to look like in the end. All right, I'm going to lay this aside. It's going to dry a little bit, but it's not going to completely dry during the video. But I'm going to put this aside so we can move on to the next step. Okay, the next steps are, firstly, we are going to attach our Sweet Summertime banner. Now, if you look over here, the green, the letters are green, right? But there is a little bit of like green peeking out of the banner, right? From behind. It gives it a little dynamic feeling. So we're not laying it one right on top of the other, right? We're not doing that. We're going to offset this. So we are going to just bring it down and over. So it's going to look like that. You see, it's not down so far that there's no green under the word, but it is down and over just a touch, 1/4 of an inch, and that gives you like movement. We're going to use our white glue or any kind of glue. And I talk to people all the time about this, but glue is water-based, which means it's got water in it. And what happens when you put water on paper and you just kind of let it sit? Yes, it makes the paper wrinkly. So you don't need a lot of glue. So normally you'd come and you do a bead like this, right? For this project, you only need a scratch, that much. See how you can barely see it? That is wet enough to hold it, and it'll hold it forever. If you do this, you're going to have glue seeping out when you press the two layers together, and also you'll get like a wrinkly look in your banner. So if we look carefully, here's our Sweet Summertime, right? We're going to turn it upside down. We want the words to be backwards because this is the back and this is where the glue is going to be. And we're just going to do like a little scratchy scratch on the edges all the way around. Little bit, and make sure you get those little extra pieces like where the leaves are, where the curly cues in the words are. Just a dot, that's all you need, not a lot. And on the bottom, okay, just a scratch. Same thing over here. Just maybe a little zigzag, a little scratch. We can always just put a tiny bit of glue if we missed any spots and they're sticking up. We can go back and add a tiny bit of glue later. Okay, so see if this shows up. There you go. You could see that there's not a lot of glue. There you go. Now I'm going to take it and turn it right side out. And like I said, it's going to go a little bit down and to the right. Just like that. There you go. Now we're going to press it. See, a little bit of glue did come out on mine because that's where the underneath was showing, right under there. That's where the glue was showing, where that white is. But that is it. That is it. Nothing squeezed out in here. That's great. If it happens to squeeze out and you see it, you don't have to wipe it or anything. Just let it be. Let it dry. It will dry clear. Okay. Our next step is to apply this, which is same thing. You can probably see my glue now, but I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue, scratchy amount of glue on the back of the green. Okay. I'm coming over to where my strawberry sign is coming over to us. If you look at our sample, it's on a angle, right? It's also about 1.5 to 2 inches below where our green stem is because we don't want it to be hidden by our bow when we put it on. Okay, so let's take this and, oops, not upside down, oh my goodness. We're going to put it about 1.5 to 2 inches underneath here. It will cross over some of our seeds. It's actually covering up some of my seeds. And I'm going to put it on and press it down. So don't worry about it if it covers your seeds because it's wet and it'll dry. All right. If you feel like it, it's up to you. You could take your brush, tap it down the side of the glue bottle and tap it down. If you're afraid of your fingertips, doesn't matter how you do it, but you just want it to be adhered well. And there you go. What's missing? Something's missing still, besides our bow. These spots are missing. These here, the E's and the dot in the R and the dot in the S. And the way we're going to fix that is by getting our skinny brush and getting some white and just filling it in. I'm going to make a little oval here, a little oval here, a little dot in our R, and where this S is, same thing, we're going to make an oval. And that fills in where our S is. You may want to make it a little thicker because you don't want the green to show through. And there you go. Sweet summertime. Complete. If you feel like you want to add more seeds, you can. You can go back. Like I probably need another one right here and maybe another one right here. But I'm not going to do that. You guys can do that. I just want the video to be a little bit shorter. But you can go back and add. The next step, I'm going to put this aside, is to make our bow. Oh, I lost my little wire thing. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we're going to put our sign aside. That way it can dry. I'm going to leave it over here so it's not in the frame. I'm going to push my paint out of the way and my water out of the way. All right, we have 2 lengths of ribbon. Green glittery ribbon. I always, I like all kinds of styles of decor and decoration for your house and rooms and things like that. But I always like a little bit of bling. Kind of makes everything pop. So we have the shorter ribbon and the longer ribbon. Let's move the shorter one up. We're going to start with the longer ribbon. We're going to turn it upside down. Okay. And you have your ends. Here's one end and here's the other end. This is the middle. We're going to crisscross over the middle. Oops. Just like that. I got glue on this. Let's move that. All right, I'll do it again. We're going to take our ends. This is the long one. Determine approximately where the middle is. You don't have to measure it or anything. And we're going to do a crisscross. 1, 2. It's going to look like this when we're done. Okay? That's what it's going to look like. I'm going to make it a little even, right? So these are going to be our loops for our bows, right? I'm going to do an upside down imagination exercise. One more time. We are crossing one over this way and one over this way, over the middle. Okay? Doesn't even have to be even. Okay? We're going to take this whole area from here to here, from here to here, and we're going to pinch it together. Right? The whole area from where the X is to the whatever the bottom is, whether it's an X or part of the ribbon. And we're going to pinch it together. And it looks like a bow, right? But how is it going to stay together? I'm going to turn it right side up now. Okay, that's our bow. How is it going to stay together? Well, this piece is going to help us. We're going to take the short piece, cross it over the middle, like that, right? Lost my pinch. All right. We're going to bunch it up so we can hold it well, and we're going to flip the whole thing upside down. So again, here's our crisscross. That's our bow. Here's our short piece. We're going to lay it over. We're going to just pinch everything together so that we have a bow shape, right? And then we're going to flip it over. And when we flip it over, these are the 2 pieces from the short part of the length of ribbon. Here is our crisscross piece. We're just going to do an overhand knot. We're just going to flip it over and pull it tight. Now, you have to understand this is wired ribbon, which means it has small wires running through the edges, and it will kind of stay wherever you put it. So you don't have to worry about the ribbon slipping out or whatever, but we are going to try to pull this on the tight side so that we have everything together. Now let's take a look. I can see a couple things already with my ribbon. So number 1, this is longer than this. So I am going to pull it and try to make these 2 loops similar in size. What do they say about eyebrows? Sisters, not twins? These are going to be sisters, not twins. Okay, so we got that going. This knot has to be pinched more, right? So let's pinch it with our fingers. And lastly, I see, because I have the tails from my bow and the tails from the short end, I want to make sure, I'm pulling it through so I can see it better, I want to make sure everything is the same length. So it's only as long as the shortest length, and this is why you need scissors. So this is very short, not too short, but short. And so I want to match this on this side. Okay, I'm going to cut it this way on an angle. That's one. And over here, same thing, approximately the same length. And also, I can always trim it more. Better to leave it on the longer side and then trim it down because you can't make it longer. You could make your tails, these pieces are the tails, go up and down, or you can pull them through and have all four come down. But this is green and glittery, and this is going to be your bow on your strawberry, which will represent the leaves. See how pretty it is? So don't worry if it gets crushed because the wire will allow it to come back to life. You'll be able to readjust the wire. All right. How does this get applied to your strawberry sign? Let's turn this upside down again. We have this wire. The wire goes underneath the knot. It comes out the other side. And it's like a U shape when we pinch it together. You see? There you go. So one more time, I'll do it again. Excuse me. This is the back of our bow. Here's our knot. We're going to slide or push the wire through and bend it together so it looks like a bobby pin, a hairpin. This is red paint, by the way. Okay? All right. So that's it. That's how we're going to attach. So let's bring everything together. Uh-oh. I smudged this, so I'm going to go back because it is wet. I'm going to go back, and this happens. This just goes to show you that mistakes happen, and everything is fixable. All right, I'm just going to take some red, and I'm going to go right over it. There you go, done. But it's a reminder that everything is still wet. Reminder for myself. If you look at your strawberry, you have two inner circles and two outer circles. The two outer circles are going to be where your door hanger is. Keep losing things. Oh, here it is. It fell on the floor. We have our twine. So we're going to use these two outer circles for our twine. We're going to push it through and make a little knot here. Okay, there you go. That's one knot. Now it's up to you how long you want your hanger to be. Where are you going to hang it? You got to think about where you're going to hang it and how much do you want to show. So same thing. Once that happens, you can push it through, determine the length you want, and then make a knot. All right. Here's my knot, and it will stay. Twine is great. It sticks to itself. It will not pull out. I'm going to trim the tails. Unless you want the tails, you may want it. Some people do want it. And here is our hanger. These two inner circles are for our ribbon. So I'm going to pretty much do this on the fly because my paint is wet, but how do you see this very well? Okay, so if you look, here is our U-shaped wire. These two prongs go into these two holes. So look, just like this. And when you pull it through, oops, let me do it again. I'm trying not to get paint on my ribbon. So you're going to put these two prongs into these two holes. And you see how they come out the back? We're going to pull them together like that. And just like a twisty tie, we're going to twist them. When you twist it, push it down so you don't want to stick anybody, that is going to affix your ribbon to your sign. And then you're going to do a couple things. You're going to rearrange your ribbon because we have wire. We can do it, right? We want our ribbon to look fluffy and juicy because our strawberry is juicy, okay? And we also want to just do any last minute seeds. You may want to add a couple seeds. Like I still want to put one here, but overall, you may also think your tails are long or not in the right place. This is wholly adjustable because of the wire. And that is it. It is complete. So here's my older one. And here is my newer one. I just put my finger in that. Very cute. So this one is, looking at it, more seeds, nice highlights, a shorter bow. And this one, I'm going to put more seeds on, but I like the bigger bow. I like that it's really stiff and facing up like that. And I think it's pretty even looking. And I think I'm done. I think that's it. I hope that you've either watched the whole thing through and now you're going to be working on it, or you are going to, work as we go along, or go back and highlight your places where you weren't complete or you want to watch again. That's what the video is all about, the rewinding and the playing. Just making sure I'm looking at the camera and readjusting. And I want you to know this will be on my front door this summer. Absolutely. I hope that it's either in a nice room, leaning on a shelf, around when there's a party and people can see your work. And as always, I am always, always grateful. I love doing these things, and I am very grateful that you are with me. And I will see you at the end. Thank you very much.
All right, so how did everyone do? Do you have a fabulous sign to hang somewhere in your home? Are you ready to celebrate summer with all of these bright and delicious looking colors? I am super happy that you were able to join me, and I'm sure everyone's projects turned out absolutely gorgeous. And my name is Lisa. I have a website, icreateprograms.com. I have an Instagram at LisaCologne1, and I am always very grateful to see you. And I'll see you the next time.